Taz says everyone's trying to hide the fact that he fucked Sabu's jaw up about a month ago. He says, that's cool, but I'm going after his jaw. You hear that, Sabu? I'm telling you my game plan. I'm going after your jaw like a shark going after blood and water. Well, then it cuts to Bill Alfonso, Rob Van Dam, and Sabu in the back. Sabu's jaw is all bandaged up. Alfonso even says right off the bat that Sabu's 70%. And then RVD says Sabu's not 100% too. So it's like no one's trying to hide it. So the ref was just going to give Lynn the title.
I think that's what they were teasing. And then, RVD actually won with his finisher.
I just know it made no damn sense.
Yeah, a time limit draw. Then that means the champion retains. Yeah.
It does not
That's called the champion advantage.
New Jack tapes Mustafa to a table and then dives on him from the balcony. Security then picks both of them up, not to get medical help. They take him back to the ring so they can continue fighting. New Jack simply pins Mustafa. To be fair, I don't think New Jack could have done anything else.
Yeah, it was pretty much over after the
Then Cyrus comes out. He snatches Francine. And Incredible's friend Jason just starts choking Francine. And Cyrus headbutts her and right in the pussy.
Yes, he does. So I guess she wasn't the smelly one.
I guess not. Well, moving on. We have our Wrestling Rewind. And this week is ECW Living Dangerously, 1999. We are in Ashbury Park, New Jersey. And it opens with Steven Prezek. I guess he's an interviewer. And he's waiting for Taz, who just so happens to arrive at that very moment. And he asked Taz what his game plan is going to be against Sabu tonight. Taz says everyone's trying to hide the fact that he fucked Sabu's jaw up about a month ago. He says, that's cool, but I'm going after his jaw. You hear that, Sabu? I'm telling you my game plan. I'm going after your jaw like a shark going after blood and water, like stink on shit. I'll be after his jaw. Taz says he's walking out of the pay-per-view as ECW World Heavyweight Champion and with the championship he created. And then Prezek asks if that's overdoing it a bit. Taz calls him a schmuck, and Taz says he's the best champion ever, and he'd beat Ric Flair, Stone Cold, The Rock, and Hulk Hogan, probably all at the same time.
He was very infatuated with Ric Flair.
He was. Then the pay-per-view officially starts. Joey Styles is in the ring. It says we're crowning a new undisputed champion tonight. And there's no paid-off referees ringside. The finish isn't some predetermined draw. And Don King is barred from ringside. For some reason, he had it out for Don King.
Yeah, I imagine that some controversial fight happened around the time. I didn't bother looking it up, but that's just what I gather.
Styles then says there can only be one champion. ECW Heavyweight Champion Taz or unrecognized champion Sabu. Sounds like they already took care of the one champion already, but whatever. One champion will be crowned. It's ECW Living Dangerously. So we open with Super Crazy versus Tajiri. This is a rematch from the last pay-per-view. It starts off as one big dance routine, and it got a standing ovation. Then they started fighting out of the ring. Tajiri did a somersault dive to the floor. Looked pretty cool. Super Crazy hits a acai moonsault on the entrance ramp. And they get back at the ring. Super Crazy hit a trifecta of moonsaults from the corner. Like he started from the bottom turnbuckle and worked his way to the top. Thought that was kind of cool.
And I think that was his finisher, or will be his finisher. Funny that we're in a time where people are using finishers, but they're not their finisher yet.
Right. Super Crazy went for a springboard something but slipped, and then he started flopping while the crowd told him he fucked up. And then they go back and forth some more. Super Crazy ends up winning after rolling through a Frankensteiner delivered by Tajiri, and yeah, he got the win.
And he's the winner of the feud, as they said.
Is he? Because it's 1-1.
Well, that's what Styles said. He said whoever wins this will be the winner of the feud. They wrestled at the pay-per-view, but I think they were wrestling on TV as well.
Oh.
I think that's what he said.
Well, this wasn't nearly as good as the last one.
It wasn't, but still was good.
Well, then it cuts to Bill Alfonso, Rob Van Dam, and Sabu in the back. Sabu's jaw is all bandaged up, so it doesn't seem like they're doing a good job of hiding it, like Taz said. Alfonso even says right off the bat that Sabu's 70%. And And then RVD says it's a big night for Sabu because he gets to watch him wrestle Jerry Lynn for the World TV title. Then he says Sabu is not 100%. He says Sabu is not 100% too. So it's like no one's trying to hide it.
Yeah.
RVD says once Sabu beats Taz, he just needs to find out how to carry all 5 of their title belts and his partner too. And yeah, Sabu got pissed. Steve Corino is in the ring. He doesn't need steroids to look good, and he doesn't need to wrestle overseas to get respect. Corino then issues an open challenge so he can show everyone how hardcore he is. Cue Balls Mahoney to answer the challenge. So it was Steve Corino versus Balls Mahoney. Mahoney, of course, kicks Corino's ass. He does a frog splash from the top rope. And then he climbs the top rope a second time. The crowd begged him to use a chair, and he just continues his planned spot, which I thought was a wasted opportunity. Can you imagine the reaction he would have got if he would have just climbed down and got a chair?
Yeah, it would have popped.
Corino hit Mahoney with a super kick and creamed himself. And then he grabbed a chair. And then he acts like he's going to whack Mahoney with it. But then he sets it down and sits on it so he can comfortably apply a side headlock. You can hear someone in the crowd go, "Are you kidding me?" Mahoney stands up, not even trying to sell the chin lock, and then he hits Corino with a super kick of his own. He grabs a chair, nails Corino right in the head with it, and wins the match. Just busted over his head.
Yeah.
Then we get a Dudley Boys hype video. Shows the Dudleys beating the Eliminators. They beat the pants off of Saturn and hit him with a 3D. Then shows them 3D and Hack Myers, Masato Tanaka, the Sandman, and Beulah McGillicuddy, which broke Beulah's neck. Then the Dudley Boys took care of Public Enemy. Thank Christ we missed that. So then they turned their sights on New Jack. And New Jack brought back his good buddy Mustafa for backup. But it turns out someone paid off the Dudleys to take out New Jack. And that someone turned out to be Mustafa somehow. Because he didn't look like he had money. So later we're going to get New Jack versus Mustafa.
In a hardcore match, I guess.
Well, it's New Jack, of course.
Yeah.
But first we go to Blah Blah versus Nunzio of the Full-Blooded Italians. Blah Blah looked like an Ultimo Dragon clone. Nunzio came out with Big Sal Graziano, no Tommy Rich or Tracy Smothers. So then Blah Blah and Nunzio had a match. A crowd chanted boring. I completely agree. Blah Blah tried to dive to the floor, but Big Sal caught him, put Blah Blah through a table. Crowd chants at Big Sal. He's a fat fuck. And they don't disagree. Blah Blah then gets thrown back in the ring. Nunzio hits a Famasser off the top rope, makes Blah Blah tap out with a Sicilian crab. Then Tracy Smothers and Tommy Rich came out, and they turned on Nunzio and Big Sal. They tried to attack him, but he's too fat. He chased him off. Well, he didn't really chase him off. He kind of half-heartedly waddled somewhat up the entrance ramp, and then he looked relieved.
He walked him off.
Yeah. But yeah, looks like the Full-Blooded Italians have broken up.
Yeah.
I wonder if Tracy Smothers is still going to be from Nashville, Italy.
Of course not. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it, though. Like his gimmick.
Yeah. So we have Jerry Lynn versus Rob Van Dam for the ECW World Television title. And the story of this match is that RVD and his fans thought that he was just going to squash Jerry Lynn. Wasn't even in his league. Well, obviously that wasn't the case, and Lynn surprises Van Dam. Lynn hit RVD with a baseball slide so hard he went flying over the guardrail. And then he followed that up with a dive in the crowd. RVD hit a couple crowd dives too. And then Jerry Lynn fucks his knee up, and he's easy prey for RVD. Alfonso tosses RVD a chair, and then RVD lays the chair down on the ring, locks Lynn up in the surfboard, and launches him right up in the air, rolls out of the way so Lynn can land on it. Beautiful. So unnecessarily complex. Alfonso gets involved, and they do this thing where he tries to hit Lynn with a chair. Lynn blocked it and snatches the chair. Van Dam then goes for a leg sweep, and Lynn basically leg drops Van Dam's head right onto the chair. That was awesome. Then he goes to the top rope with the chair, and Alfonso interferes again. And then Van Dam climbs the top rope with them. And after some struggling, Van Dam does a jump kick, kicks the chair right into Lynn's face, and Lynn goes flying off right through a table. There's ringside, which that was awesome too. They get back to the ring. Jerry Lynn hits Van Dam with a tornado DDT from the apron through another table that was ringside because they just spawn in ECW.
I think they were setting it up. I know there was one match where you can see him like in the background setting it up, like actually setting up the table for the spot.
They have extras.
Yeah, it was like a security guy and Bill Alfonso just like setting up the table.
Oh, that's stupid. Well, then, because it's the TV title, they wrestle to a draw. And for some reason, the ref is about to award Jerry Lynn the world television title, saying it's his decision. So then, like an idiot, Lynn demands 5 more minutes. Naturally, Van Dam wins the match with a 5-star frog splash.
I think this was actually a call to what they were talking about earlier about the no crooked decisions or whatever. What they said at the beginning about the whole Don King thing. I think that's what they were playing off of here.
So the ref was just going to give Lynn the title?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what they were teasing. And then, yeah, they got 5 more minutes. And then RVD actually won with his finisher, his actual finisher.
So it teased the time limit draw, the predetermined draw, and it teased the crooked referee all in one thing.
Yeah.
All right.
That's just what I assumed that they were doing with that.
I just know it made no goddamn sense.
It didn't. I mean, yeah, a time limit draw, then that means the champion
it's a draw.
retains. Yeah.
It does not
That's
mean it's
called the champion advantage.
Exactly. Porn star Jasmine St. Clair wants to make an impact at the pay-per-view. According to Styles, that doesn't go as planned. So then it cuts to Jasmine St. Clair in the ring. She says she's the hottest film star out there. False. Then she says she's the new queen of wrestling. It's probably also false.
I don't know if I was familiar with her work. I didn't recognize her.
No, wouldn't have been interested. Francine then comes out. Then the audio in Jasmine's mic gets fucked up, so you can't hear anything she says. I doubt it was important. And then Francine gives Jasmine St. Clair a stone cold stunner, then nails some dude. He's just standing there. Just nails him in the dick.
I took it he was probably another porn star. I don't know.
I think we've seen him. I can't remember when. Well, then we get Mustafa versus New Jack. New Jack comes out with a garbage can full of weapons. Then they use every single one of them, even the garbage can. And then they fight out to the crowd. New Jack tapes Mustafa to a table and then dives on him from the balcony. Security then picks both of them up, not to, get medical help. They take them back to the ring so they can continue fighting. And New Jack simply pins Mustafa. To be fair, I don't think New Jack could have done anything else.
Yeah, it was pretty much over after the dive, which is funny because they talked about how he did that last time they were there. And last time he fucked himself up.
Yeah.
And this time he did it too. So didn't learn anything.
Well, after the match, the Dudley boys come out and they beat the shit out of New Jack. When they threw him out of the ring and he screamed, I kind of felt bad for him.
Yeah, you can tell he was really messed up from that jump.
Then the Dudleys talk about how they just beat the shit out of New Jack and no other team has the guts to face them. But Bubba issues an open challenge anyway. So we get the Dudley boys versus Spike Dudley and Nova. The Dudleys decimate Spike Dudley and Nova. Spike gets tossed out of the ring and into the crowd, does the body surfing shit. Nova gets powerbombed off the top rope and hit with a 3D. Officials come to get Nova out of the ring. Dudley's 3D the ring announcer because he tried to protect Nova. They were friends. Bubba then gets on the mic, says there's no one left. They've destroyed all of our heroes. Bubba says if there's no one in the back that wants to fight, maybe some of the fans will. Then he asks if there's no one man enough to come face us. Is there no one tough enough? Well, out comes Judge Jeff Jones with a stretcher, and he brings out Psycho Sid. Once again, Sid gets the loudest pop of the night. Bubba calls Sid a faggot, and then the Dudleys start beating his ass. And then Sid hits a double choke slam and power bombs Devon. And then he tosses Devon out of the ring, puts him on the stretcher. Spike Dudley gets back. He starts kicking the shit out of Bubba. And then Sid ends up dropping the stretcher onto Devon. Spike wins the match after hitting Bubba with an acid drop. And Spike tried to get all chummy with Sid, and Sid powerbombs Spike in the ring and then threw a table right off the entrance ramp.
Yeah.
Sid was not having it.
He wasn't, but yeah, he's getting the biggest reactions. Just crazy.
Not if you think about it.
Yeah, but I was saying they're actually appreciating him as they should.
Roman Reigns should show up at JCW just for the pop.
Yeah, it would be equivalent to that.
And then after he gets the pop, he just leaves and he looks at cocaine. We then learn that Just Incredible and Lance Storm are being hunted by Shane Douglas and Tommy Dreamer. And it cuts to a video of Shane Douglas retiring, and he gets interrupted when he starts to say who's going to fill his wrestling boots. Lance Storm and Just Incredible come out and interrupt, both saying that they're the new franchise. Douglas tells Storm Incredible they're good, but neither one of them is a franchise. And the man Douglas is talking about is Tommy Dreamer. So Credible hits Francine with a Singapore cane right in the face. And Storm kicks Douglas's ass. And then Tommy Dreamer comes out just so he can get his ass kicked too. So Douglas, Dreamer, and Francine joined forces, I guess.
And so did Storm and Just Incredible.
They did. And that leads us to the Impact Players versus Tommy Dreamer and Shane Douglas. It's nice to see Lance Storm have a tag partner he gets along with. Also nice to see that Douglas's arm isn't fucked up. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Pretty much what you would expect. If it was like a fair fight, Douglas and Dreamer would mop the floor with these guys, but the Impact Players fought dirty often. The crowd chanted dirty pussy at one of the women ringside. They were on it tonight.
And also, she's got herpes.
Well, that was the mild one.
Yeah.
The ref physically prevented Douglas from helping when Dreamer was getting double teamed, but made no effort to stop Credible and Storm from double teaming Dreamer. Douglas gets in with a hot tag, kicks the shit out of Storm and Credible until Dawn Marie comes in from behind and delivers a nut shot. Then Francine gets in the ring and they start cat fighting until Storm breaks it up and dumps Francine out of the ring. Then Francine drags a ladder from out of the back. Dreamer sets it up in the corner and drops Credible on it face first. Then Dreamer DDTs Credible onto Storm's nuts. Then Douglas hits him with a belly-to-belly suplex. Credible kicked out. 2 straight finishes, and he just kicked out. So then Credible kicks Douglas in the balls, teases hitting him with a Singapore cane. Francine grabs the cane from behind Credible, kicks him right in the face, and then Douglas pins Credible with a perfect plex. Then Cyrus comes out after the match. He snatches Francine, and then Credible and Storm beat the shit out of Dreamer and Douglas. And then Credible's friend Jason just starts choking Francine, and Cyrus headbutts her and right in the pussy.
Yes, he does. So I guess she wasn't the smelly one.
I guess not. The Cyrus thing was interesting. He's always a weird character.
Yeah, he's a sleazeball.
Well, then they talked about Jerry Lynn and Rob Van Dam and the fact that Lynn was about to win the ECW World Television title after wrestling champion Rob Van Dam to a draw. They interviewed the ref, who said Jerry Lynn was the clear-cut winner at the time, and he was going to hand him the title. Ref says, unfortunately, Lynn's a retard, and he wanted 5 more minutes, so he didn't get the belt. The interviewer points out that no one's ever won a belt by referee decision before. Ref says, this is ECW, and we needed a clear-cut winner. So Rob Van Dam interrupts to talk shit and challenges Jerry Lynn to a match at Hardcore Heaven because he took Van Dam to his limit. Gave him the best match of his career so far.
Yep.
And that leads us finally to our main event, Sabu versus Taz. And this unifies the ECW World Heavyweight title and the unrecognized FTW title. Taz gets on the mic, says the fans waited in the rain to watch the pay-per-view, so how about we make this an extreme death match? Falls count anywhere. Sabu, of course, agrees, no issues, despite Bill Alfonso trying to talk him out of it. You're 70%, Sabu. True to his word, Taz targeted Sabu's jaw. And then Taz and Sabu fought in the stands. Then they made it back to the ring. Taz did a belly-to-back suplex to Sabu right out of the ring and through a table bridge that Sabu set up. And he also took out one of the cameras, which was cool. Probably not cool for the camera guy, but Alfonso then tries to throw in the towel. Sabu won't let him. And then he hits Taz with a chair, and he gets chased to the back. And then Taz and Sabu fight ringside. Sabu puts him through a table. They get back in the ring, start trading blows. Taz hits a Tazplex off the top rope. Then he Tazplexes him through a table that got propped up in the corner. Then Alfonso throws in the towel, and that causes all sorts of shit because Sabu tries to crawl to the towel to throw it back out of the ring. And Taz grabs the crawling Sabu, puts him in the kata hajime, and he makes Sabu pass out. And then he makes Sabu shake his hand after the match.
Yeah, that was awkward.
It was like, Sabu, look at me. Look at me.
Shake my hand. We'll be here all night.
Yeah. He's writhing in pain, clutching his jaw.
Yeah. He wanted him to pretty much no-sell the match he was just in.
But yeah, that was our main event. I thought their first match was better. It seems to be a recurring theme. The sequel doesn't seem to be as good in ECW.
Yeah, it's because usually I guess it's unexpected the first time, and then they try to recreate it the second time.
Taz needs to stop going out in the fucking stands, having half the match in the crowd just walking and lazily throwing punches.
Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, that was ECW Living Dangerously 99. Our next ECW pay-per-view is Hardcore Heaven 99. That's in Poughkeepsie, New York. Our main event is Bubba Ray Dudley versus Taz for the ECW World Heavyweight title. And it's billed as Falls Count Anywhere.
Bubba Ray in a singles match.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Well, we've seen him in a singles match.
Have we?
He was doing that stuttering shit. I guess it wasn't really a match, now that I think about it. But before that, we have WCW Super Brawl 2000. This is the 10th Super Brawl produced by WCW. The event took place in the Cow Palace in Daly City, California. The card had 2 billed main events plus 1 special main event. The final match of the night was a 3-way dance. Psycho Sid attempting to defend the WCW World Heavyweight title against Scott Hall and Jeff Jarrett. It's worth noting that this is Scott Hall's final WCW match.
So Sid is the champion? Because when we last went off air, he was not the champion. Actually, he got dominated by Chris Benoit.
Yeah, then Benoit quit, and I think there was a tournament, and then I think Sid beat Nash.
Okay.
We also had Hulk Hogan versus the Total Package, which was billed as the second main event. So that'll be interesting. And it's Hulk Hogan. It'll be a classic.
I haven't seen him in a while.
Nope. Other prominent matches were Ric Flair versus Terry Funk in a Texas death match, of course. We have the Mamalukes versus David Flair and Crowbar. This is a Sicilian stretcher match for the World Tag Team titles. And I guess James Brown made a special appearance at the event, performing with Ernest Miller during an in-ring skit with the Maestro. I'm guessing this is the special main event.
Well, he was always a James Brown fan, as he kept telling us.